Hello, everyone, and Merry Christmas. Oh my gosh, can you guys believe it is actually Christmas Day? I feel like we wait forever for this day to get here. So excited to see so many of you on here already. Go ahead and make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure and just give me an A-OK in the comments, a couple of you, just so I know that you can see me and hear me. We know that technology is always a lot of fun. Hey, Emma, Merry Christmas. So we already have a lot of you on here, and I am thrilled to see we have already raised, I believe, $60 is what we're at right now. Thank you so much, Natalie. Good, good, good. For Feeding America. Now, this is the very first time I have done an actual fundraiser, which is super interesting. You have to have 10,000 subscribers in order to do it. And they just introduced it a few months back, and I hadn't really played with it yet. And I knew I wanted to do a fundraiser today, but I wasn't sure. There's so many great causes right now. Of course, you guys know I've been giving to cast member pantry this whole time. But the reason I decided to partner with Feeding America is because they work with 200 local food banks all across the United States. So I knew that no matter where you lived, chances are there is a food bank near you that is benefiting from the work that Feeding America does. Thank you, Anonymous, for your donation. I really appreciate it. And it was kind of funny because when I got on there, it said, what's your fundraising goal? And I was like, well, I don't know, $10,000. And then I was like, well, that's a little lofty, but you never know. And I don't think I put an end cap on it. So what I may do is just for the next several months, you may see videos come up occasionally that will say it's a fundraiser. And you can always give through this video, through other videos, and any money that you give today will go directly to them. And I love that, as opposed to doing super chat, which you guys remember when I did the Black Lives Matter for the whole month of, what was it, May or June. YouTube then takes a cut. But the way that they do this is 100% of the money you give today goes directly to Feeding America. And it only takes $2 to give a person a meal. And you guys know, I mean, we're in a situation, right? And those of us that are able to put food on the table, maybe more than ever before in my lifetime, are counting ourselves as very, very blessed. And so, anyway, Feeding America, great organization. Give to them here. You can give to them privately. I will, when I put this video live, I'll make sure I put the link to all their information. But yeah, I vetted them well, you guys. You know how I feel like about stuff like that. So Karen is here. Yay. Okay. So I know I have people from all over the United States and across the pond, as they say. And I try to do it. I figured 3:30, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9:30. Karen, is it 9:30 there or 10:30 there? I'm not sure. Another $20 donation from Melissa Gogo. Thank you so much, Melissa. So hopefully we will not be too loud. I've got Walter like asleep right next to me. But I have a house full of men and dogs. And so we'll see how, this is not a what shall I say, professional setup over here. And Natalie, don't worry, I will put the link there, and you are more than welcome to just donate whatever amount you were going to do. If it's giving you an error message, and if you just want to comment that amount, that's totally fine. Oh, it's only 8:30. Okay, I was really close. You saw I had to do math on the fly, Karen. And I get very confused because although now I think, I don't know if you guys know this. UK does their daylight savings time a little different than the US, but now Karen's in Ireland. So I don't know if doesn't matter. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. So I have a drink of choice in front of me. I thought that everyone on here would appreciate that I am drinking a Schafferhofer. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't even know. I just call it my grapefruit beer. And I have the rest of it poured in here so that it will stay nice and cold. Oh, Jenny, yay. I'm so glad that you're here. So, all that to say, oh, Liz is here. Good, good, good. I meant to message you and see if you could pop on here, Liz. So I'm glad that you're here. So, we have had a fabulous last couple of days. We don't, I pronounce it Hiergengurgen. How does that pronounced Hiergengurgen? That doesn't make any sense, Sean Patrick. Messing with me doesn't make sense. Let's just call it grapefruit beer and call it a day. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with like my look for today. I was going to wear jammies, and then I decided I felt like getting dressed up at the last minute. Jen, thank you so so much. $20 from Jen for running out loud. So greatly appreciated. That's my fake German. Yep, there you go. So we tried mulled wine last night, and I think we did something wrong because it tasted a little like cough syrup. So we're going to try mulled wine again. If you have a fabulous mulled wine recipe, I would love to know what it was. I don't know if we got ratios off or what, but yeah, it was not good. Melissa says, when I visited Ireland years ago, I was there the week of their daylight savings and almost missed my only opportunity for a bus that day. My extremely kind B&B host woke me up and got me on my way. Yeah, we have a similar story. We were in California once at a B&B, and Arizona doesn't have daylight savings time and California does. Now, this was before we all had iPhones. So we were an hour earlier than our hosts, and it was this beautiful place at the beach. And we were up an hour early, and she was rushing around, and it literally took me like all day to figure out why we had gotten the time wrong. So yeah, it's very, very confusing. Another $20 from Dean for Feeding America. So if you are just another $35 anonymous, I realized 10,000 was a little bit, much, but you never know. We might get to $10,000. So I wanted to show you guys. This is from one of my subscribers. Her name is Caitlin, and she's actually become a very good friend. And sometimes you'll see her message as Team Cuddles, but this is an ornament that she sent me to my P.O. box that I hung up, and it's just been cracking me up. It says, "It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine." And there is a dumpster with a 2020 on it. A literal 2020 dumpster fire ornament. And, I thought it's kind of true. We kind of all feel that way about 2020, but there are better and brighter days ahead. So, anyway, I hope everybody got what they wanted from Santa Claus. I felt very good about our Christmas this year. It was super interesting because we had the any of you that are getting an error message, go ahead. If you want it to go to the total, you'll be able to donate after the video is over. Sometimes it's your credit card company that doesn't like it. Sometimes it's other things. But the donate button will exist on this video even when it's not live anymore. So you can go ahead and either give directly or you can give here either way. So, I don't have any way of knowing why it's not going through, because obviously some of you are able to make it work and some of you aren't. But we will just trust that you are still finding a way to give. So I love it. Eleanor says, my sister and I just discovered your channel through Karen B. Loving your channel. We've been binge watching all your videos. Well, thank you, Eleanor, because there are a lot of them to binge. So what was interesting about our Christmas, well, two things. It snowed last night, which is kind of crazy for Atlanta. We do get snow, but we don't generally, well, where I live, we live north of the city, but we generally don't get snow until later in the year. So that was really interesting. Oh, yeah. Those of you that are getting errors, now Liz is in the US, so I don't know why she's getting an error message, but Cindy, that could absolutely be why, because you're in Canada. Anyway, we ran out. It was the sweetest memory. We ran out at like whatever time it was, maybe 10 o'clock. And it was just snowflakes falling. And it was so absolutely beautiful. And of course, none of it stuck. And this morning was, back to, although it's freezing cold here now, but it was so magical. And the dogs were running around and the boys were there. But it was kind of funny because my boys didn't ask for a lot of, like, we didn't do anything technology related this year. They got books, and they got one got a bunch of sheet music for the piano. One of them got different accessories for his guitar. My husband actually got an airplane model, and it was one of those Christmases where it was like almost everything all of us got would have actually worked for like a 1950s Christmas or a 1960s Christmas. And I feel like we're kind of hearkening for simpler times. So I love that about our Christmas morning. It was very different than we've had years past, not in who was here, because the five of us, we're kind of always just together for Christmas. But anyway, it was just a really, really fun and just kind of a magical morning. And everybody was the ages that I keep calling them my kids. I guess you can, I mean, I have friends whose kids are in their 40s. Like my mom calls me her kid, so I can still call them my kids. But I think that they just get more thoughtful about what they're giving you, and that was really fun this morning. Jenny, yes, the piano sheet music might be for me too. So I bought him a Disney book, and then a classical and 2 classical books. And the Disney book has the "I Lava You" song, you guys know from the oh, I can't even think of it. It's not in my head right now because I'm filled with Christmas carols, but, he was playing it this morning, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." And it also had, just songs that are like a lot of the music from Up and songs that I just hadn't heard, that I hadn't seen in sheet music before. So yes, 100% also a gift for me. Laura says last night my family video chat played a Stranger Things D&D game. We dressed up like the 80s. Oh, I love that so much. I have to say, and you guys know how I feel about the great unpleasantness. I am not going to say, oh, aren't we glad that it's happened because it's helped us all prioritize. There's lots of ways to learn a lesson. We didn't need to learn it like this. So don't hear what I'm not saying. That is not the case. However, the fact that a normal Christmas with my kids home from college would mean that they would be off with their friends and doing a million things, and Scott and I might be out doing a million things. And there has been something about having more concerted family time that I've just felt like was really special and unique. And I took a ton of pictures because I'm trying to document it so that, yay, Karen, thank you so much for that $20 donation to Feeding America. Anybody who's able to get through without an error message, feel free to share how you did it. But yeah, I love that you guys are continuing to donate. We're not going to let technology keep us from feeding people, right? We can get on the other side to that. Although Karen's, it looks like went through the official way, so yay. So maybe things are working again. Anyway, I don't know if anybody else had that experience. Just the kind of more cozy, and I've been playing a lot of the King's College choir music, and just, I don't know, just very nice. So, along the vein of music, this was from one of my sons, and I know that you guys would appreciate it more than anybody. Um, if you are into Disney records like I am, things from the Disneyland Record Company. Oh, good. The Kayaking Archer just donated $25 via the Feeding America website. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love it so much. And so he has been kind of hounding half price books and looking on various websites to try to find me one. Now, this is the one that he found me. And y'all, I've already played it beginning to end. It is a Bambi album. I don't think this album was ever played, which makes me kind of sad because it means that it was a gift. Yes, thank you, Molly. I don't know how I started calling it the Great Unpleasantness, but it has seen me through this entire time. Well, I started doing it because YouTube was blocking your videos if you said anything about COVID. They've since stopped doing that because, I mean, come on, how you going to do that? But I had to call it something in the first few videos, and so I made it up. But anyway, and it's stuck and I love it. And now I'll be watching somebody else's channel and they'll use it. Sometimes they know it came from me and sometimes they don't, but I'm like, I like that I know that I made that up. So Anna, thank you so much for that donation. That's awesome. So this is the album and it's short. You know, we forget how short actual albums are. But when we played it, there is not a scratch. There is not a distortion. I'm used to buying used albums, and usually there's like a little bit of something, nothing. Now, keep in mind, it is very short. There are literally only 8 songs on here. But there's a lot of the, oops, don't fall out of there. There's a lot of the instrumental music, and just look at that artwork on the back. So I didn't even look to see. I'm assuming that this came out pretty darn close to when, 1963. So the movie obviously didn't come out in 1963. It was prior to that. But anyway, I'm very, very happy with that. And I was really happy with the way the sound was. So I think I'm going to start like kind of scouring eBay, looking for oh, hey, Major, Merry Christmas. Looking for various albums like that because I do just love the Disneyland albums. The trick with obviously buying used albums is if they're scratched to heck, they don't do you much good. But yeah, we bought a new record player I don't know, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and we just love listening to our albums. So, anyway, Walter is officially sound asleep. So, I'll try to make sure I show him to you guys before we get off. Yes, my boys' gifts were all very, very considerate. Anyway, that is what is going on here. I also got two really fun gifts from my wonderful husband. And they are both, whoops, I'm dropping things. They are both on cardboard, which I thought was really, really fun. They are kind of IOUs for things that we can't do right now. Now, this first one, first of all, can we talk about the amazing ingenuity of my sweet husband? Somebody else, somebody with like a million subscribers, I think it's Shay Whitney. She had put up a thing where she was showing what she got for Christmas luxury edition. And it was things like she got something really like some fancy bag. And so I actually haven't watched the video yet, but she usually gets really expensive items. And when I opened this, I was like, yep, I'm showing it in a video because this is what I got. And what it says is indoor plant consultation and selection. So, what that means is that this, why is it not showing me? Oh, can everybody see me and hear me? Because now I'm worried with Dawn saying she can't hear me, but I'll just keep on keeping on. So anyway, okay, good. Thanks, Natalie. Natalie's like my sound. Natalie, will you be my sound technician for today's live stream? But there is a nursery here. I can't remember the name of it, but what they will do is they come into your house and based on, you guys know, I mentioned in the video I did on Joyful Living about what I wanted for Christmas that I really want a lot more indoor plants because it's really good for the environment. It's really good for the indoor environment of your home. We all have toxins and things, and the plants like eat all that up and they look beautiful, but they are hard to pick out if you don't know what you're doing. So, this nursery in our area, which I want to say it's called Canes, that might be right. I also might have that wrong, does indoor consultation. So once COVID or once we've all been vaccinated, they're hoping to start doing this again in like March or April. They will come in and do an evaluation and decide which types of plants would work in which parts of our home. And then, of course, they're going to sell me the plants. Or if we don't want to buy them all at once, then we can get them over time. So he's called, he's priced out all the packages, and this is what is scheduled. And this picture he got off the internet was cracking me up because I don't want that many plants, just to be clear. And then the other gift he gave me is rather bougie. So I'm going to warn you in advance. And I almost didn't show this to you guys because I was like, I want to read the room. But this watch was a present that was kind of an IOU from our 30th wedding anniversary. And it didn't happen because we chose to use the money when lockdown happened. We chose to use the money that was going to go to this next thing I'm going to show you for a huge 55-inch television for our living room because I decided that, I mean, we had the money set aside and I was like, this is a gift that will benefit the entire family, right? And it will be so much more beneficial to everyone. And what am I going to do with, and this will make sense when I show it to you, what am I going to do with that anyway? Lockdown is happening. So glad we spent the money that way because we have so been enjoying that amazing television. Like we really, really have. But I never got this gift. So this is the other thing that he gave me. We were laughing. We were like, it is the construction paper. This is so on brand for 2020, but it was so sweet. I had to tell you guys. It's a picture of the Cartier watch that I have wanted ever since I saw it on Princess Diana. That tells you how many years I've wanted this watch. Castaway K donated $50 to Feeding America. Woohoo! Thank you, Castaway K. Sorry, that was probably really loud. I know. Whoever laughed when they said yes, they could hear me. I am so loud. Anyway, I have wanted this particular tank watch for the entire 30 years of my marriage, and actually longer than that. I tried it on when I was in London. What it says at the bottom is after we are vaccinated, you and I will go get your tank watch anywhere in the world. So we will be making a trip either to London, possibly to Paris. Even though Cartier is from France, you don't really get that much of a price break. I could get it at Harrods because you guys know Harrods is such a big deal to me that it seems to be like this very short list of high-end luxury items that I have that I want someday. So anyway, that was his gift. So it's kind of a combination. And my 50th birthday trip never happened. So this is kind of like my combination 50th birthday, 30th anniversary, Christmas. Congratulations. We made it through 2020 gifts. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, really fun. And I was just laughing because this is there we go. I think I might have these framed and put them like in a in a frame together and be like, and this was 2020. So anyway, yeah, I realize that's an extravagance. And especially this year, I'm very, it's tight for everybody, including us, right? So yeah, I realize that's a luxury gift and he's a sweet guy. And I never say I deserve things like that because there's people all over the world that deserve things and can't have them. But I am very, very grateful. So yeah, he's a very sweet guy and I love him very much. Um, so that will be fun whenever that finally happens. Oh, Angie says we have raised $341 so far. Now, you guys remember that's a big amount of money. $2 to feed a person. So think about how far $341 will go. 150 plus 20 plus 50 cents. 170 and a half people. I think I did that math right. Anyway, if I did, I think you guys know me in math, so that's a very big deal. So, $341. If we could get that up to at least 500 by the end of this live stream, I would be very, very happy. If we can get to my $10,000 goal, that, oh my gosh, somebody anonymous just gave $100 to Feeding America. Thank you, anonymous. I don't know what it is, but I have more. Well, I do know what it is. This is kind of what I meant to say at the beginning. This is how we get out of our great unpleasantness blues. Okay. The only way to get out of it, by the way, do we like that my head is framed exactly between Christmas Mickey and Minnie? The only way to get out of it, the only way is to cast your gaze on somebody else, to cast your gaze on someone who is hurting, to cast your gaze on someone who is unemployed, to cast your gaze on somebody who is dealing with a difficult diagnosis. And it really does something. I really feel like it's like a God physics thing. I wanted to write a book for years called God Physics. Nobody steal that because you'll all know that it was from me. Especially if it's called God Physics and the Great Unpleasantness. But they're like these things that are just true about humans, right? That when we focus on what's going on with us, which we have every reason right now to be focused on what's going on with us, because some of you are going through a lot more than what I'm going through. $20 from Vicki Graham. Thank you so much for that, Vicki. Woohoo! It's like something shifts. It is like there's an actual physical change and the way we feel about our own situation. So that's why I wanted to do this today. Joy Sharp just donated $20. Thank you so much, Joy. That's amazing. I wanted all of us to realize that chances are, and if this is not you, I just want to reach out and say that I see you, but chances are, if you are watching this live stream, you had food on your table last night and you will have food on your table tonight. Okay, I'm making that assumption. I realize there may be somebody watching that doesn't. And in your case, I want you to go to the Feeding America website, find a food bank, and make sure you take advantage of any and all help that you might need. But if you had food last night and you had food today, that's enough for you to be for just a minute grateful for what you have. And that's kind of how I feel all of us are this year. I was a lot less worried about doing the perfect thing, or like my mom's gifts are, who knows where my mom's gifts are. God bless the US Postal Service. My postal worker, we sat down to Christmas Eve dinner last night at like 7 o'clock, and my mailman was like, we could see him through our window delivering mail with everything that they have been through. Anyway, my mom's package is somewhere. I mailed it on the 9th. I don't know where it is. Hopefully she'll get it. But other years, I might have been really upset by that. And this year, I'm like, meh, it will get there when it gets there. And that's okay. And you guys, I posted this on Twitter. But you guys, if you don't know, I was a pastor for many, many years. And the three wise men brought the gifts to baby Jesus on January 6th. So what you can tell your family if the gifts are missing is that you think they are so amazing that they warrant the same treatment as Jesus. So they're getting their gift on January 6th. Could be a new This could be a new thing. I love it. I love it. Okay, so we're really close to $500. Somebody give me a ding, ding, ding. I don't know how you would do that, but maybe type ding, ding, ding when we get to 500. I don't know how to see. Maybe I can't see where the total is. It's fine. It doesn't matter. So Russian Christmas is on January 6th. Anna, that's right. You would know that. That's beautiful. Oh, we just got $50 from Anonymous. I love that. You guys don't forget that. Oh, we did it. Thank you, Sean Patrick. That everything that we give today goes, all of it. I don't get a cut. YouTube doesn't get a cut. Absolutely all of it goes to Feeding America. And that brings me joy like none other. I can't even tell you guys. So $50 we just gave 250 meals. And I did check on their grade, and they get like a pretty high grade. You know, you can go on and rate charities for how much of every dollar goes to the actual charity. And Feeding America has a very high grade. And I believe it was like 77 cents of every dollar goes directly to purchasing food. Obviously, they have to pay staff and things like that. But I always look into that because I want to make sure if I'm telling you guys to give money to an organization that I've vetted them and that we know they're doing a good job with the money. So that makes me super, super happy. So yeah. Charity Navigator. Thank you, Sean Patrick. If anybody wants to go and check up on them, I think if you are like one of my regulars, I think you probably have enough faith in my integrity at this point. I'm a lot of things. I'm a lot of things, y'all. I am not a perfect person by any stretch of the imagination, but I was raised with a very strong sense of guilt. So I would not steer you guys wrong about something like that. So anyway, Merry Christmas from the Bahamas. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. I've always wondered what a Bahamian Christmas would feel like. Probably a lot like it does in Hawaii, because obviously the weather is very similar all year round there. But even when I lived in Arizona, we were able to, you just turn the air conditioner on and you pretend. That works absolutely fine. So anyway, I just love that. So what else about today? We got up and we made a huge breakfast. We did our big meal on Christmas Eve, which was lovely. And then we went in and did a big brunch this morning. And we were going to order Chinese tonight, but no one wants to eat, y'all. Everyone is like, I'm stuffed. I don't want to eat anything. I'm like, that is fine with me. We can just eat leftovers and hang out and it will be great. 50 degrees in Rhode Island. That's crazy, Selena. Yeah. Or sorry, you're not in Rhode Island. You're in the Bahamas. 50 degrees in the Bahamas. That's insane. I know Florida is really cold right now too, so that must be the same cold front. Denise Gomez donated $50 to Feeding America. Thank you so much, Denise. Maybe I'll wake Walter up and make you guys look at Walter every time we have a big thing. Is that what we should do, Walter? I covered that up because his collar, this is always an issue for me. Half of it says my cell phone number and the other half says my name. And it's not that I don't trust you guys, but I really don't want to broadcast my cell phone number to all of America. So I'm holding his little collar. Dean, he is so bad right now. His groomer was actually sick right before the holidays, so couldn't get him in for his pre-Christmas grooming. So I tried to trim like the top of his head, and I am not a groomer, y'all. That is just not my thing. So anyway, but we were talking about weather. And it's crazy to me that Coral, you guys know my friend Coral, who I adore. We were talking last night and she's like, how is it 58 degrees here and it's in the 30s and snowing there? I'm like, I don't know. It's just on brand. It's just very 2020. So, what are you going to do? Walter has had a very good Christmas. He enjoyed his morning. So we had all three dogs and all three kids and Scott and I, and, just taking our time opening gifts. And I kind of thought that when my kids got older that Christmas would be less magical somehow, but I really feel that I like it so much better now. Like I hate to say that, but like when kids are little, things are just so chaotic at Christmas and it is so exhausting. And that's another thing I wanted to touch on. If you are on here and I'm on a new thing. Oh, Cindy's telling me it's 25 degrees in Saskatchewan. That is for you guys. That is, Cindy, I've told you this before. My friends that live in Bigger always are telling me how cold it is there. So that's really warm for you guys. Did Walter wear his Disney Christmas PJs? He did. He does not have them on currently, but he did wear them earlier, and he will probably have them on again tonight because it's so cold. But if you are, this is another book I'm thinking of writing. I always have book ideas running through my head. The Keeper of the Feast for your family. Okay. It might be the mom, but it's not always the mom. Sometimes it's a dad, an uncle, a husband, a grandmother, an aunt, whoever. Every household has a keeper of the feasts. And the keeper of the feasts generally, I'm not projecting this on anybody, right? Generally, is the one who also plans vacations, right? So there's our Disney tie in, is typically the one that does all the birthdays, is the one that makes sure that every anniversary is celebrated, is the one that makes sure that, the feasts and festivals are done in a beautiful way. Rogelio, a couple of people have said that. Keep trying. And if it doesn't work, either try it later when the button's there, or you can go back and do it directly through Feeding America. By the way, Merry Christmas, Rogelio. You are with my family today because I have family in Phoenix and they are there celebrating. But if you are the keeper of the feast, I'm talking to you right now. The rest of you can listen. Right about now, or maybe it happened for you last night, you're feeling a little martyred. You're feeling a little bit like, why do you do all this? Nobody appreciates it. You put all this effort in, you make all this food, you've been cleaning for days, you've been shopping literally since Jesus was a baby. You've been working so hard to make everything perfect for everybody else. And you really start to feel that you are not appreciated. But I want to say to you, especially this year, in light of everything that's going on, remember that the keepers of the feasts are the ones that keep these traditions going through war, through famine, through pandemics, through sickness, through trauma in your own personal family. These traditions are what remind us that the people that came before us got through, that we have a lot to be grateful for, and that we're going to get through. We're going to get through to the other side, just like they did in World War II, just like they did in the pandemic of 1918, just like we've done every other time since the beginning of man. And these kind of stakes in the ground that we celebrate, be it holidays, Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever you celebrate, remind us of our ability to celebrate and to move forward. And one of my favorite scenes in Swiss Family Robinson is, you guys may not remember this, but when the dad says, you know what we need? We need a holiday. And he invents a holiday on the island. And remember, they make special food and they have the races and they do all of those kinds of things because we have this need as human species, as humanoids, we're Star Trek people. So as humanoids, we have this need to have these stakes in the ground, these celebrations. And if you're the keeper of the feast, your job is so vitally important to the lifeblood and to the psychological health of your family. Do they appreciate that? I have no idea. They very well may not, especially if they're young. They may not appreciate it until you're gone. So you kind of have to be okay with that, right? Like one of my grandmothers was a pioneer, my great grandmother and great, I guess. And she died. She, trekked over to California and she died before she ever got to see the fruition of her labor. So talk about like that's like big time stuff. So when you're slaving, and don't overdo, don't kill yourself. Nobody needs that. Nobody wants a cranky keeper of the feast. Remind yourself that there's one in every family. It is your job. Take it seriously. Put on that Christmas apron. Or if you're like from Christmas with the Cranks, Jamie Lee Curtis has her Christmas vest. Put on your Christmas vest and know that, especially in times like this, you're doing something for your entire family that helps them feel normal. And that is what we all need right now. Okay, that's all I have to say about that. So anyway, and also if you're the keeper of the feast, make sure you put your feet up somewhere because you are tired. And is tomorrow Boxing Day, British people? I think tomorrow is Boxing Day. I've always been fascinated with Boxing Day, but Boxing Day traditionally, unless I have it wrong. Yes, Jenny, you are taking up the keeper of the feast mantle. It's a big deal. So take notes, be writing it down. The keeper of the feast. If you don't know who it is in your family, and I said this on Twitter and I made myself laugh, which is typically what I do on Twitter, but if you're not sure who the keeper of the feast is in your family, take a treasured ornament off the tree just when everyone's around. Like, don't even think anything of it, and then hold it over your head like this. The person who gasps and notices immediately that you have taken an ornament off and you are holding it over your head, that is your keeper of the feast. If they have a binder of some sort, if they have a planner with a Christmas themed cover, that is the keeper of your feast. If they have a special, recipe book that is only for Christmas, that is the keeper of your feast. Treasure the keeper of your feast. Consider giving the keeper of your feast, self-care products and things that he or she can use after the holidays. So anyway, that's just fun. Caitlin, make sure you go back and watch the beginning because I showed your ornament. I think it went on the ground. So, but I showed your ornament to everybody because I loved it so very much. And I thought it was so absolutely perfect. So anyway, so that's all I have to say about that. What else? Okay, moving on to some Disney things I want to get to. Who watched Soul? Anybody? Liz, did you watch it yet? Has anybody watched Soul yet? Hey, Susan, I'm so glad you're on here. Let me know if you've seen it because I have it like primed and ready to go. That's what we're going to do tonight. I am hearing very, very good things. And I got the D23 magazine that had the whole spread about it, and I'm so excited about it. So, I even like just the beginning because I queued it up thinking maybe I have time to watch it before the live stream. I totally didn't have time because my mom called and my niece is in labor right now, so that's a whole thing. But the music, even the beginning, da 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 da, all of that was all done in this amazing jazz, and I like got goosebumps getting ready to watch it. So, it's going to be a big deal. Thank you so much, Dawn, for that amazing $20 donation to Feeding America. Caitlin, thank you so much for that $25 donation to Feeding America. Remember, only $2 is all you need to donate to feed a person. And when have we ever needed people to be able to have food more than now? Maybe never. So anyway, another really good recommendation that is not Disney related, but if you're into jazz, so it's kind of in the same vein, Vanessa Williams did a Ella Fitzgerald special on PBS that they do the entire and it's Dee Dee Bridgewater and I'm trying to think, Norm Macdonald, is that the guy? Not Norm Macdonald. Who am I thinking of? Norm somebody. Anyway, it was amazing. They're streaming it on PBS. Highly recommend it. The musicians were great, the way they filmed it and how creative they were with all of the restrictions and all of that. Dean, that's how I watched it too. I told my husband that I taped it and he was like, you did what? I was like, I taped it. It's very 1994 called once it's technology back. Okay. So Dawn finally figured out that her card was expired on YouTube, which is why her donation was, thank you, Jean. Her donation wasn't working. Yes, Jean, it was Norm Lewis. Thank you. There was a guy named Norm Macdonald I used to know at our old church. Oh my gosh, that's really sad. So anyway, Joan Baptiste is the musician who worked on the soundtrack, and he is amazing. The animation of the character's hands was made from the video of his hands playing piano. Okay, that like makes me cry. So I am like an armchair musician, you guys, you know that. So anything about the history of music, particularly the history of jazz. I harken back to my, American jazz class that I took in college that everybody takes because they think it's going to be Jazz in America was the name of the class. I think it's going to be an easy A. And I took it and I learned so much that, it actually honestly was one of my favorite classes in school. So anyway, sometimes those classes you think are going to be easy end up being super powerful. So anyhow, had a group project where we had to evaluate West Side Story, and I was the only one who did any work. That's a group project for you. So anyway, what else do I have on my list to talk about? Oh, I want to thank everybody who sent me amazing Christmas cards. I got so many cards, you guys. Just so many great pictures of your family. Natalie sent pictures of their brand new little baby, Liam. And I say it all the time, but the community that we've built here just means the world to me. And there are so many of you on here now during this live stream. There's 86 people on here right now. And I feel like I'm hanging out with friends on Christmas Day. And I just can't even tell you what that whole journey means to me and all of that. So, oh my gosh. So Anna is saying, let's get to 700, just a little more. We are doing so good. That's so amazing. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if we got to 1,000 before the hour was over? That would be unbelievable. All right. So John says, unlike any other community. Yeah. I mean, both here and then over on Patreon as well. I was watching somebody. Okay. This is going to sound like a really weird comment, especially if you're watching this video and you're not a regular watcher of my channel. For those of you that have gotten to know me, this will not surprise you. I don't really have any grand desire to blow up as a YouTuber, right? $636. Woohoo! Karen is saying, fun fact, I choreographed West Side Story for my university. So special place in my education too. West Side Story. Do 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 do. Okay, sorry. That's all I'm gonna do. Um, it just comes to you, doesn't it? Anyway, I have no desire to blow up because content and community, those are my two words for why I do YouTube. Okay. If I get too big, I'll still have the content, but I won't have the community. And if you're watching this now and you like my content, of course, I want you to subscribe. I'm not going to squelch community, right? Or I'm not going to tell people not to be part of this amazing thing we have going on. And I do feel that there's room for lots more. But when I first started, I think I thought that success looked like having 100,000 subscribers, and that's how you were successful. I do not feel that way in any way, shape, or form anymore because of the community and the way that when I create content, I know who I'm creating it for. Like, I know you guys personally. Like, I can picture Natalie with her newborn baby. Well, not newborn anymore, but when she was taking up with him in the middle of the night and I knew she was watching. And I can picture Cindy, who's in freezing cold places. And I know that in the wintertime, she doesn't get out very much because she lives in a freezing cold place. And I think about her watching. And I think about John and Rogelio watching from Phoenix. And they are both in retail. And I know it's been really hard for them. And it's like, oh, Walter's going to sing. But it's like I can picture my audience now. And I know it's just a car, baby. It's just a car. It's just a car. I know who I'm creating content for, and as new people come and I get to know them better as well, it's a level of fulfillment for me in my work that is kind of difficult for me to wrap my brain around. So anyway, that's how I feel about all of that. So, what else do we want to talk about? Oh, I did want to talk about Tina Fey in Soul. I don't even know what character she plays, but you guys know I adore Tina Fey to pieces. If you haven't read her book, Bossy Pants, you must pick it up immediately. I've never laughed so hard reading a book in my entire life. But anyway, that's all I have to say. Okay, Lauren's here. Lauren's Travels. Lauren, so great to see you. I hope you had a fabulous holiday as well. Thank you. You were the one I saw on Twitter that I knew had seen it. So she plays somebody in the before, right? Lauren, am I getting that right? And it's really as good as everybody is saying it is, because we were saying I've got it on my calendar. Not my calendar, my schedule. I don't have a schedule for today. That's a lie. I'm lying. This is my schedule for today, hanging out with you guys. Can we mention the Joyful Living channel is just amazing? Well, I mean, you can. Charlie donated $20 to Feeding America. Woohoo! Thank you, Charlie. If you are just joining us, just know that $2 is all it takes to feed someone. Feeding America works with food banks, 200 food banks across the country. Fabulous organization. We want to see people get fed. So thank you for that, Charlie. Yes, if you are not already subscribed on my Joyful Living channel, please make sure you go over and do that. As I have not been to Disney now in over a year, I'm still doing Disney content. As long as you guys keep wanting it, I promise I will still do it. I'm still talking about Disney Vacation Club. I'm still doing Disney coffee talks and all of those kinds of things. But personally, I have found myself gravitating more towards the Joyful Living channel just in the home. And I'm finding myself very, very excited about the content I'm doing over there as much as I am about the Disney content. So if you haven't joined me over there, please make sure you do so. Jenny wants to know, and that let's do this. Let's transition to that. Thank you, Jenny. Very nice segue. To questions, if you have any. Jen, are you doing a year wrap up looking ahead to 2021 kind of video, some New Year inspiration? I am doing that. I'm going to be filming it January, actually, Jenny. On Joyful Living, the entire month over there is going to be devoted to kind of starting fresh and new ideas and new habits. We're going to be doing a lot of things like cleaning videos and organize with me videos and planner videos. And I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, but I do believe in clean slates. And I love that at the beginning of the year, we can kind of, especially this year, we can kind of say, okay, that's gone, and we can start fresh, and we can maybe mistakes we made or whatever, it's done. And as they say in Anne of Green Gables, tomorrow is always fresh with no mistakes in it. So we're going to do that. And then on the Disney Channel, Angie, any upcoming Disney trips? I'm so glad you asked. Over on the Disney Channel, that content will a little bit be dictated by vaccine news and things like that. My husband should, knock on wood, get vaccinated very soon. I can't remember. The pilots are in like group. Any medical professionals on here will know, but he's in like 2B or something. So yeah, there's going to be some Disney trips coming. I have yet to schedule one, just because I'm like, I just don't want to schedule and cancel again. But for sure, there are Disney trips coming up. For sure, there is Disney content coming up. I have all of my Disney focused content scheduled already for January. I'm very excited about all of that. Your group 1C. Okay, good. And I was a little, Susan, I was a little confused about the transportation piece, because public transportation, I wasn't sure if pilots fell into public transportation or if they were in another group. And the airline is communicating everything with him. And I love that I know that he will be able to do, probably at the airport, right? They will probably have a station set up and get them all vaccinated. So, with the new Moderna vaccine, it should be soon. Yeah, Susan, I don't know either. And it kind of feels like it's a little bit of a fluid situation. Having said that, I know that Delta is, oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to say the airline my husband works for. Let's say my husband worked for Delta. It's not like you have to be a genius to figure that out, but hashtag Delta proud. They are keeping in contact with the pilots regularly. So like we get COVID tests sent to the house, and they're very on top of all that. So I'm very excited about that. So yeah, thank you for that $10, Gabriella. That's amazing. I love it that you're doing this. This is from House Vinyl. I've been out of work almost 7 months and can't donate much, but so many are in need. And you know what? Again, that $2. And I love that pretty much all of us can say that we've had a rough year. You've had obviously worse than a lot of us. But the fact that you can still come from a place of gratitude that's huge. That's what will get you through. As someone who had many, many years of unemployment with my husband, like a lot of years after September 11th, that ability to not come from a place of scarcity, that's what will get you through. And I know for a fact that some of you watching right now are unemployed. And on the days when you just want to, I don't want to say feel sorry for yourself, because you have every right to feel that. Whatever you're feeling is legitimate. But when you can shift it to a place of, okay, but here is what I do have, that changes things significantly. So anyway, Sean Patrick said, Gamma Airlines. Yeah. That big airline in Delta or in Atlanta that my husband works for. Dean says January, and you're in line for February through work. Okay, that's really good to know. My mom also will be able to be immunized very soon. So I'm kind of still on the fence. I'm chatting with some medical professionals about it, about if I will then be okay, or, it's personal decision. I'm not asking from a medical perspective, but if I will feel okay traveling once Scott has been vaccinated, and especially once my mom has been vaccinated, and that will change things for me, because, there's a whole thing about when you have an elderly relative and you don't want to risk getting COVID, and then if they should need you for some reason, and all of that. And then obviously my husband being an essential worker, so on and on it goes. So we're taking it a day at a time, as we say in the recovery game, a day at a time, right? And just not worried about it today. Today is Christmas, and we're grateful that we're here. So there we go. Lori is here. Merry Christmas, Jen. Love from Texas. Love Texas. We lived in Dallas for 15 years. So yay, Merry Christmas. Rebecca says, brother got immunized this week, works in a hospital. Yeah, our healthcare professionals, thank the good Lord above, they've been able to get vaccinated. So anyway, it's all good times. And I know for sure that I'm scheduling our Disney trip for a year from January in February, because that will be my 11 months for DVC. And one of the boys even mentioned it this morning. He was like, I can't wait for Disney next year. And I was like, "Wah, wah." It makes me so happy. Everybody always asks, how do I keep my boys, enthused for Disney? And I think it's just if you build it, they will come situation. With older kids, basically, if you pay for the vacation, they generally will get on board with whatever. So whether we've rented a house in California or whether we are going on a cruise or whether we're going to Disney, they are very appreciative of the fact that we pay for everything, and they have expensive tastes in food and drinks. So I guess it's just basically bribing them is how I've kept their Disney spirit alive, through bribery. Okay, sorry. I cannot wait to see the return of the beautiful crystal pylons at Epcot. Yeah, Sean Patrick, I've kind of been, normally I'm not a huge person where I don't like to see spoilers, but I have been kind of avoiding watching. I've seen pictures, obviously, but I've been kind of avoiding watching vlogs of that because I want to have that ta-da moment when I walk into Epcot for the first time and I see the new setup and all of that. So I love it. And dining, older kids love food. Oh, Stephanie, the dining thing with them is a whole thing. And those boys, we have, because now that they're all 21 and above, we have cut back to, like, if we go on a 6-night trip, which is typical, we'll only do like 4 big dinners instead of 6 big dinners because the amount of money is just mind blowing. But that's okay. We do it and we love it. And hopefully this time, I already told Scott I'm going to wrap him in bubble wrap. He will not hurt himself our first 15 minutes at Epcot and be out the whole rest of the trip. So anyway, let's not even talk about that. That's how I started 2020. I should have known. Sorry, everyone. It might be my fault. Just Another Disney Family says, the new Disney cruise ship looks so beautiful. Have you talked about that yet? I have not, because I just started to see that one little clip that they did. Some of you know, I sailed with my family on the Disney Dream on its 3rd sailing. So, excuse me, I'm really excited to maybe sail on the inaugural year, at least, of the new ship. I'm a big fan of doing stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, that would just be amazing. Ooh, I need a sip of beer. You guys are wearing my voice out. I'm glad I kept this cold. If you didn't see when we started, this is what I'm drinking. My Schafferhofer, which I just call it my grapefruit beer, which you can buy a shirt in my merch shop that says grapefruit beer. Okay, hold on. Yes, Lori, dinners for 5 for anything, like even at home. We were doing so much takeout when the Great Unpleasantness first started. And we are now cooking so much more because the takeout bill was just getting ridiculous. And I'm back to kind of the way that I used to cook when they were young, where I'm doing, the Costco ground beef, the Costco pork, the Costco chicken, and I have my recipes in rotation, and I've got a slow cooker night. And I have not cooked like this, y'all, in years, just because, the boys we didn't need to. They were gone so much. And I mean, they started being gone most nights, where we didn't have like traditional dinner time. We always had it like 3 nights a week, but way back probably in high school. And now we're back to everybody home 7 nights every week, and it gets expensive. So yeah, I'm stretching our food budget even now at home. So probably the same thing will have to happen at Disney. Although by the time we get there in January of 2022, we'll probably be ready to splurge a little bit. That's okay too. Jen for Running Out Loud says, first of all, Kelly says, my husband surprised me with your Joyful Living hoodie this morning. So soft. Kelly, right? Like, when I say that, I always feel like you guys think maybe I'm exaggerating because it's my merch, but that hoodie is amazing. And you can get it both in the I'm so excited to be here or in the Joyful Living. Anonymous donated $5 to Feeding America. Woohoo! Boy, that Anonymous has deep pockets. I love it. Can you tell us everyone's favorite gift this year? Yes, I can, because we actually went around and did this at the breakfast table because, people love it when you do that. When you ask what they're thankful for, you ask for their favorite gift. Scott said his was, I bought him these tool trays that I saw on Shark Tank. I don't even know what they're called, but they're silicone. So my husband has a motorcycle, and it's one of those. I forget. He's going to kill me. It's not a street bike. It's one that's like it's an adventure bike, is what it's called. Like, it is a motorcycle, but it's for going off road, and he's always working on it. And so I bought him these silicone trays that have like a lip on them so that you can set it like on the seat or whatever, and it grips wherever you put it, and the tools don't fall on the ground or wherever. So if he's working on the cars or his motorcycle or whatever. So he was very excited about that. Jack said his sheet music, grip mat. Thank you, Dean. That's what they're called. Saw him on Shark Tank, grip mat. And I got him the big set, so he's super excited about that. My oldest Jack said his sheet music was his favorite. Matt said one of his guitar things. Oh, no, 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 no. Matt said his Grateful Dead blanket that I got him. And Will said, it was funny, the twins both said blankets. Will said, I got him a king size, like big chunky blanket that he's been asking for. So yeah, that's what everybody said. It was, like I said when I started, you guys, it was such a simple, like, everything we got for each other was so like wholesome, and music and blankets, and I don't know. I'm like all about it. I just loved it. Hi, Jen. Just put the scalloped potatoes and ham in the oven. 60 degrees here in Colorado Springs. Terry, is that insane? That's just cray cray. Brian says, love your videos. I have only been to Disneyland, but not Disney World. Well, you'll have to fix that, especially now since Disneyland is closed. That makes me sad even to think about. Sherry says, Merry Christmas from Houston. And Lori says, so cool. I grew up riding dirt bikes in East Texas. Yeah, I have been telling him that he should start his own channel, because what he does is, we live not far from the start of the Appalachian Trail. So he goes on these amazing trails up there, and he's just absolutely loving it. So yeah, he might start doing some filming. Jen is planning Alaska for June of 2020. Don't know where the new ships are sailing. Yeah, so you're saying June of 2020. That's not what you mean. Do you mean June of 2022 maybe? Because June of 2020 already happened. But you probably mean June of 2022. I'm not sure I don't think they've announced the itineraries yet or where those ships are going to go. So yeah, that will be really, really interesting to see. Okay, so I wanted to say to all of you guys, because believe it or not, I have been yammering on for almost an hour. Sometimes I watch other people's live streams and I'm like, some people take a breath. Some people don't just talk the entire hour. Not me. I just keep going. Don't forget that once this is processed, you can still donate to Feeding America. So if you are watching this on the replay, $2 provides a meal. So please consider donating. There is a big fat donate button somewhere for you to be able to utilize. 100% of the money that we donate goes directly to Feeding America. YouTube does not take a cut out of that. And it's really just something I wanted to do today. Before we go, I'm wondering if somebody can give me a total of how much we've gotten. Maybe Anna or Natalie, if you guys are still on, because I really do want to know what our big total is before we get done. And $661. Wow, that makes me really, really happy. And it will be interesting to see, as this video stays live over, however long, people will still be able to donate. So I'll probably do a video update, maybe in my coffee talk video for January, and let you guys know. So yeah, so far, Catherine, we have raised $661 just I think $60 came in from my friend Sarah before we started. But that's just been in this hour that we have been live. So that's amazing. And don't forget, if you were having technical troubles, you can still go and donate through the Feeding America website. Love them. All of my live streams have now moved over to Patreon. So if you're not with me over there, that's how I do regular live streams. But I may start now and again doing these fundraiser live streams, because they are really, really fun. And, I just love doing something for a good cause. You know how I feel about that. Was my Mickey Advent calendar new? No, it was actually from last year, although I know they did do a version of it this year. So Merry Christmas, everybody. happy holidays, whether you celebrate Christmas or whether you don't, whether you're watching this on Christmas Day or whether you're watching it in July. Remember that we all have a lot to be grateful for. Remember to be very good to each other, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.